Hey, you guys, it's super late at night. I do not know what's going on, but all these guys keep wanting to make same day appointments in the evening. So it's a 2 hour minimum if you want to see me after 4 o'clock and 200 extra for a same day appointment. And I can't turn down the money. And the guys that have been coming are just so sweet. These younger guys, and they're coming from all the way from Los Angeles. So I'm very grateful. My escort business is doing great. My fan page is doing great. My dating life is not so great. So today I did make some role play videos with one of the subscribers to my YouTube channel, Wayne Dre, which I have to kind of crop a little bit, and I will be uploading that in the next few days. But what I want to share with you guys is how it's going for me on Bumble and some of the things that I've learned. So after my divorce, I actually had to learn how to look to dating as to where I can be a contribution rather than what can the man give me. So that's the first big step. Where can I be a contribution rather than what can he do for me, what can he give me, which mostly I want good sex. Second, also is to be embodied and be like, well, what does this feel like? And does this man want a relationship or not? And one of the big things I've learned is that of all the men that actually I had a date with, I've been on Bumble 2 weeks. I was on eHarmony 3 weeks. I had one date off the eHarmony, and I've had one date on Bumble. Tomorrow I will have a coffee date on Bumble, and I will also have a dinner date with a gentleman who's a subscriber to my fan page. And all these men are exemplary gentlemen that are super sweet, gentlemanly, and excellent communicators. All of these men I'm meeting. And I want to tell you one thing that all of these men have in common. One thing I've learned: none of them had my phone number prior to meeting. They didn't ask for it. They didn't throw their number at me. They didn't need it. And that's one thing I really want to make you guys aware of, because every guy that was a fuckboy wanted my number so he could start texting me off the app, or they were just very frivolous. Maybe they wanted to date, but they were very frivolous, just throwing their number out. Or after they had my number, they started wanting to build intimacy and connection over the phone rather than over dates. They were not fuckboys, but having my number made them feel like there was a closeness and a connection. So that gave one of them a license to text me good night. We haven't even had a date, okay? Now don't good night me. Another one wanted to ask how was my day. We haven't even had a date, okay? I'm not going to bond with you over text. And another one started texting me about what I wanted in a relationship, how much of a commitment I wanted or whatever. So one thing I have decided, and this may not work for you, okay? If you meet like a guy who's perfect for you and you want to start texting him, or you enjoy texting, you do it. I'm just sharing what worked for me and why giving out my number is not good. First of all, I'm not a texter. I used to text guys. I have done the texting thing. I have used texting to bond with guys who were fuckboys, and the texting was just about sex, but somehow because they were giving me attention and I liked them and I wanted a relationship with them, I kept texting them. But none of them were asking me on dates. So I'm not opposed to texting someone I'm dating, but I am opposed to texting someone who is not asking me out, texting someone who may ask me out, or texting things that are better said in person. How I feel about you, what kind of relationship I want. These are not good things to text over. I'm very certain of that for myself. And so what I'm doing now going forward is I will give my number to someone who has the restraint and the interest in me to ask me on a date. If the date goes well and we want to be friends, I'll give him my number. And As far as telling them what I do for work, I'll do that on the first or second date. That's something I will give them later once they decide if they like me or not. And if they decide it's a deal breaker, fine, I won't really care. But I want to try not leading with that or making that my identity or trying to put up a wall with that. Or using that as a point of conversation. Like, I want to be able to get interested in a guy and talk about it. Talk about him and get to know him without talking about sex at all. The phone number thing is huge. There is nothing good that has ever, ever, ever come out of me giving a gentleman my number before a date. That has never gone well. Not because I start texting them, because they start texting me and they fuck it up. They fuck it up. Either they're, like I said, they're just frivolously throwing out their number to any woman, hoping a woman will like them or it will make the woman feel more secure. Whatever their fucking story is, okay? Whatever their reason is, there's always some neediness on their part attached to it. They're not able to use texting just for logistics. And I know there's some ladies, I know I have friends like that like texting with guys and flirting with guys, but they're either in relationships already or they're not interested in dating. They're unavailable. Available people are not texting to build intimacy. Available people build intimacy face to face. Okay? When people in a relationship are apart, they will have a video call. They're not texting. And when they do text, it usually goes bad. Okay? Because I have friends, they tell me, I sent him this text and I sent him that text, and it's always some argument. The only reason to text, in my opinion, is to say, when are we meeting? I'm running a few minutes late. Or to be like, hey, sexy, I miss your hard cock in my pussy, you know, if you're in a relationship already. But people tend to use texting as a way to try to build intimacy because they don't want to meet. Because I'm not that important to them, or they're working a lot or whatever. I know. I am a fucking hard no to giving out my number or texting anyone. Unless we've gone on a date and I like you and I want to give you my number. I'm not a texter. I don't have orbiters. I don't have guys that I text. I know that's hard to believe because a lot of women have these orbiters and these guys that come around and bring them groceries or take them out. I don't have any of that. I don't want it, okay? I don't want it. If you look at my phone, this is my work phone I'm using now. If you look at my personal phone, all you will see on there are my female friends and my family. And I text them. I'll text them about when we're getting together, or there's an article they want to share with me, or they want to know when they can call me. My daughter and I do a little bit of texting. She'll share something about what's going on. Send me a picture of my grandson. I have a really good friend who's also an escort. I'll be meeting her next week when she's in town. So she's texting me when she's in town. I text my friends about when to set up a massage, when to set up a phone call. It's logistics. I don't want to be communicating with you by pushing hands on a screen. By the way, you know those phones are electric laden because when my hands are damp, it hurts to type. There's electricity on those phones and I feel it in my hands and I don't like how it feels in my hands. There is electricity in the phones, okay? And I do not like how it feels in my hands. And I have never found, I'm going to repeat myself, I was thinking about this today when I was meditating. Nothing good has ever come from me giving a guy my number before a date. Nothing good. Nothing good has ever come from me giving a guy my number before a date. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. No. So, hey, if it works for you, maybe if you met the guy who's really into you and he has restraint and he has game and he knows how to control his emotions and you guys start texting and you like texting and it's gone really well. My hat's off for you, but I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore because a lot of people abuse the privilege. I just hate when they start texting me. Now I have to reply, and my reply is not going to match your reply. Like, you're going to text me good night, or you're going to text me how was my day, or you're going to text me you're so into me. We haven't even gone on a date. And now I have to tell you I don't want to text. It's going to turn you off. And now whatever date we had, that's how I lost two of my dates. Two of my dinner dates got lost because the guy got all needy texting me about how he was so into me. And I was like, I got to bring you down off here because I'm not that into you, but I was still looking forward to seeing you. Like, I wasn't going to pretend I was so into them and projecting this fantasy as the perfect one. And so I lost the dinner date. If we would have just had a dinner date, maybe it was good to lose the dinner date, but I'm not giving out my number anymore. That's all I want to say. There are enough dating apps out there where you can just message on the dating app. And all those guys who say texting is easier, it's because they want to get you off the dating app and have you texting so they can ask for sexy photos, or they can feel like they're more intimate with you. But we're not intimate. Just because you had my number doesn't change a fucking thing, because until you get your ass over and ask me on a date and put on some nice clothes and take me out and show your face and show up, we have nothing, okay? So don't build this false intimacy over text. Like, I'm getting mad. Like, no. And this is what I learned in 2 weeks of dating. I'm a quick learner now on the dating stuff. I'm learning. And the men that I have met for dinner, the men that I actually did meet for dinner, did not have my number. There was one gentleman who asked me out right away, never threw his number at me. I don't think so. And I met him for dinner. I met him from an appetizer. And while we were having the appetizer, I thought, this guy's kind of cool. So I gave him my number, and he has never abused it. In fact, he didn't text me for 4 days. So I'm like, did I get ghosted? And then he texted me later that night. He was out of town somewhere. The other gentleman on eHarmony didn't have my number. I did give him my number while he was on his drive down to San Diego to meet me for dinner, just for the logistics, in case he needed to reach me because he was running a little bit late for the restaurant. He has never abused it. He did say he wanted to book an appointment with me, but he still hasn't, so. And then the gentleman for tomorrow, I'm meeting for coffee. He still doesn't have my number, but he messaged me this morning to confirm we're having coffee tomorrow, which was very nice. And then the gentleman from my fan page that's taking me to dinner tomorrow. If you're watching this, I'm really looking forward to dinner. You're so hot. You're so sweet. He has a beard, very sweet. He doesn't have my number either. He has my email, so we were communicating over email. There is no reason for a guy to get your number before a date. There's no reason. Also, the problem when I did used to text guys was a very addictive habit. So now I like this guy. This is what I used to do. So I would have a guy I liked, and I thought he was so hot, and by texting him, I felt I want his attention, his affection, and I used texting in lieu of waiting for a date. Okay, I was satisfied with the crumb of texting. Texting is throwing a crumb. If a guy's just texting me and not asking me on dates, I'm settling for crumbs, and I used to settle for crumbs. That's what I did. I settled for crumbs. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I did. And by the way, these guys weren't like coming over and fucking me all the time or whatever, but they would just text me because they like texting me. Like, they were bored at work and they would text me. And then now I'm on my phone, I'm at the grocery store, and I'm with my kids, and I'm replying to this guy because he's hot and I'm into him, and I'm ignoring my kids, and I'm not present in the grocery store, and I'm not looking at the trees while I'm driving because I'm waiting for a text to come in. And I will never ever again let a man who's never taken me on a date, take me out of my moment with my kids, in my driving, with my trees, and my life. And that's what texting does. Like, no, what did he say? Did he text me back? Okay, so it takes me out. But I no longer get that into guys anymore. What I used to do, I would see some guy on a dating app and be like, oh my God, that's my perfect guy. That's my perfect guy. Thank you, God. I found my perfect guy. And then I would start texting them and stuff, and they were all like losers that never wanted to meet, or I wasn't even sending them sexy photos. I don't send guys sexy photos until they meet me, so I wasn't sending anyone sexy photos. I do not do that. I do not do that. But I was just texting with them, and most of them didn't even bother to come over even and fuck me. They were just wanted to text. Nothing good ever came of it. I don't do that anymore. Now I feel like that's the thing. One of the greatest things, guys, a tip. When get yourself in the mind frame, instead of being like, I'm looking for this guy to give me something, you have to start seeing yourself as a fountain. I want you to see yourself either as a flower where men are the bees, they come to you, or that didn't help me so much, is like seeing myself as a fountain. I am love. I am the source of love. I am the source. That shift from the guy as the Prince Charming to me being a fountain took me a long time to make that mental shift and accept it, because, there's a little child or helplessness or wanting to be taken care of and waiting for someone to show up and make my life better. Okay? So I had to mentally make the shift, and it seemed like a huge energetic shift to be like, I'm the fountain and I'm the source. And I'm just sprouting love. And you want it? You don't want it? How are you showing up? I'm the fountain. So that took away that neediness. And once I started seeing myself as a fountain, dating actually became fun. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So tomorrow I have 2 dates. I have a coffee date in the morning, and then I have a dinner date in the evening. And so that will be only 4 dates all year. That's it. I would like to, what I really want to do is meet more men in real life to date. And what I've started doing is just saying hi to men. Like today I went to the grocery store and I said hi to a couple of the guys working in the grocery store, like 3 of them. And they love it. They love it when someone just gives them a smile and acknowledges them. And it made me feel really happy when they smiled back at me. So just like be a fountain, spread love. We are love. We don't have to wait for love. We are love. And so I'm feeling really good about my requirements. And I really wanted to share this about the texting, because on the one hand, I know women who love to text, but on the other hand, does that really get you anything? I don't know. And I'm not going to invest time texting a guy who's never taken me on a date. Fuck that. Fuck that. No. No, no, no. No. If it works for you, do you. Not for me. And I just wanted to share that in case somebody else got anything out of it. And thank you for watching my video.